なものを認めてやるもんか。
Hey YouTube, it's basically anime. Today we have Boruto chapter 51, one of the most anticipated chapters of the recent Boruto manga series, to review/react for you guys today. Now, if you're a first timer to this channel, if you love Boruto manga and anime related content, feel free to stick around and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on your post notifications so you get notified of my posts, and let's tune in for more. Okay, so the chapter starts off with a nice color page of Boruto and Naruto staring off in the distance with an orange background. Now, if you ask me, I love the color page because I like the color orange, but I don't think it fits this chapter. I have read this chapter, and I know what the theme is or what it's talking about. I don't think that this color page fits this particular chapter, but it's a pretty good color page, not gonna lie. But the manga introduces it as number 51, Sacrifice. Now, again, the color page is pretty nice. I'm just saying, maybe they could have done this for the beginning of the series, not like now they're in the good stuff, now they're in the action part stuff. But either way, it starts off where we left off, where Boruto kind of declared, you can't kill me because, okay, we don't know why Isshiki can't kill him, but Boruto theorized this or declared it because when he noticed that when he went to go save Sasuke, Isshiki had both of them at like sword point. Isshiki could have easily stabbed both of them if he was planning to kill him, but the moment he saw Boruto, he just froze up, and Boruto was able to get Sasuke safely away. Now, Isshiki ponders on this and says, you see I can't kill you. What makes you think that, Uzumaki Boruto? Boruto saying, hey, look at you acting all serious. You couldn't be any more obvious, Mr. Isshiki. As we see, Mr. Isshiki, or Isshiki, is a pretty cool guy. I mean, his words flow, his actions flow. He's never been frozen up like this when Boruto says, you can't kill me. Either way, Sasuke is thinking on this. You know, Sasuke is one of the smartest characters, but he has to ask. Explain it to me, Boruto. What do you mean Isshiki can't kill you? And then Boruto says, you see, that car in the car we fought, that guy named Boruto, Boro, and Boro was like back into the 30s range of the chapters. He was going on about some plan, and we flash back to Boro, now finding out that Boruto has a karma seal. Thanks to you, the time limit that was urgently pressing on our plans might as well have been lifted. I'm eternally grateful. I'll take you back along with Kawaki and treat you with care. Now, we never really got that explained to us, and I guess Boruto is about to explain it now, because notice how Boruto at first thought these were like some stupid kids. Let me just take these kids on, get to Kawaki, take Kawaki back. End of the day, that's my job. He notices Boruto's karma seal all of a sudden saying, the time limit that was urgently pressing on our plans might as well have been lifted. I'm going to take you back and treat you with care. So we're going to know what Boruto meant with that and what Kara needs with Boruto. That's probably it. And that Sasuke says a plan, the one involving the divine tree that Amado mentioned. Boruto says that's probably it, and that Isshiki's planning to use me for it. And so now Boruto knows that Isshiki needs me, and he needs to use me for something, but we don't know exactly what. Boruto says, in short, he can't afford to have me die. So now Boruto doesn't know what's going on with Isshiki needing him either. All he knows is that Isshiki needs him, and he needs him alive, meaning Isshiki won't kill Boruto. Isshiki ponders on this, but while he's pondering, flash forward to the Anbu underground facility with Sai, Shikamaru, Kawai, Samir, and the scientist, and Amado. Shikamaru, and we left off with them as Amado declared, Boruto is the key to defeating Isshiki. Now, a lot of hardcore Naruto and Sasuke fans did not like this. They're like, come on, Naruto and Sasuke are pretty useful too, but now we know that it's called Boruto. Boruto is going to be the main character. We need Boruto. Okay, so Shikamaru is saying, explain. What does Boruto have to do with this plan? As in Shikamaru's eyes, Boruto is a Genin. Like, what does a Genin have to do with facing a god-tier opponent like Isshiki? What does Boruto have to do with this plan? To plant the divine tree and harvest chakra fruits? Amado still stays silent, smoking on a cigarette, and says, as I said earlier, the 10 tails is the seedling necessary for growing a divine tree, but this is no ordinary planting, of course. You can't just bury it in the soil and add water. For 10 tails to become a divine tree, there is one special condition that must be met. Kawaki ponders on this, and he stares at Amado. A special condition, the scientist asks. What condition? Shikamaru says. Quit stalling and spill it. Amado then says, you need to feed a living Otsutsuki to the 10 tails. Now, Amado just released a big bombshell. Now, before we even analyze what he's saying, Amado is saying this in nonchalant. He's just saying it chill. He's not like freaking out. So Amado must have known about this for a while. But now to analyze what he's saying that in order for the 10 tails to become a god tree, we need to feed a living Otsutsuki to the 10 tails. Now this can go in so much ways because we got introduced to the god tree and 10 tails at the end of Naruto Shippuden in the war arc. To be honest, Naruto Shippuden was kind of rushed at the end, and we didn't really get an explanation on it. And now Amado is explaining how 10 tails or Gatri is made, so we're getting some information on that. I like that. But now he's saying that you need to feed the living Otsutsuki to the 10 tails. Now, there's only 3 or 4, you could say 4, Otsutsuki that's possible without Isshiki going to find more Otsutsuki other than the ones on Earth. Tonari's disappearance was kind of non-canon, or Isshiki kind of like put him in a sleep mode, but it was kind of non-canon, so we don't know what's going on with Tonari. Ishiki's not gonna feed himself to start his plan. Kawaki is Ishiki's vessel. He's been modified. There's no way Isshiki can find a new vessel. The last one is Boruto. Boruto is the only one with the Karma Seal. He's the only one with the DNA. Now, I don't know if this is going to go down like Kashin Koji and Isshiki, because Isshiki needs to draw out Momoshiki out of Boruto's body, because that means that he could feed Momoshiki to the god tree, or he could feed Boruto. There's so much things that could happen, but this was just a major bombshell. But we're gonna get into this. So next panel, flash forward back to Boruto's dimension. Isshiki says, I see. Boro let it slip, huh? I thought it was suspicious to have lost contact with him, but I never expected him to be defeated by a small fry like you. It wasn't just me, Boruto says. Iris with Kawaki and the others. Konoha Genin are legit, and that's Boruto representing Konoha Genin, even though I don't really like the Genin the series. Either way, Sasuke says, Konoha already knows about the divine tree and the divine tree and the 10 tails, and why you acquire Kawaki as well. Isshiki says, what of it? What good is that knowledge when you don't have the power to stop me? As he starts to walk over there and make a move between Boruto and Sasuke, but Boruto screams, alright, hold it right there. Don't move any closer or you'll regret it. Isshiki staring at Boruto as Boruto pulls out a kunai from his pocket. Sasuke's like, Boruto, what are you doing? As Boruto holds his kunai at neck point, if Boruto moves any closer, he could stab himself in the neck. I meant it when I said that Konoha Genin are legit. Now, me reading this, I'm thinking about what Boruto told Sasuke, saying, as a Konoha shinobi, I'm prepared to die for the village at any given moment. Was Boruto talking about this or another thing that's going to happen soon, or something that's already happened? Is Boruto talking about, in order to stop Isshiki, I will kill myself? Boruto might commit suicide. Now, some of you Naruto and Sasuke fans might want this to happen, but I'm not a fan of him that much. I don't hate him, but I'm not a fan of him that much. But I wouldn't want to see Naruto's son, just because he's Naruto's son, I wouldn't want to see him commit suicide. Either way, Sasuke staring at this and saying, Boruto, don't you dare to even move one finger. I won't hesitate to do it. I guess this is what Boruto was talking about. As a Konoha shinobi, I'm supposed to be prepared to die for my village. And I guess this is the aspect we're going to see from Boruto from now on. He's maturing. He's becoming a real shinobi of Konoha. Flash forward back to the underground ambush facility. Shikamaru is asking, you have to feed an Otsutsuki to the Tentos? Amado saying, yup. That's the only way the Tentos will transform into the divine tree. You could even say that this is the number one reason why Otsutsuki always invade a planet in pairs. So one of the two is a sacrifice. So another big bombshell. That's why Kaguya and Isshiki came to this earth together. Momoshiki and what was his name? I forgot this dude's name, but it was like the big dude, Momoshiki, and anyway, I just forgot this dude's name, but yeah, Momoshiki had like his muscle guy. So Momoshiki was planning to sacrifice this muscle guy for this god tree, and Kaguya, we don't know what's going on with Kaguya and Isshiki, but was she planning to sacrifice him? And Isshiki got away? Anyway, Shikamaru pieces 2 and 2 together. So one of the two is a sacrifice. Amado confirms this. One gets eaten and cultivates into the divine tree, and the other watches over the tree's growth until the chakra fruit develops. Now, This system of the whole Otsutsuki clan is messed up. They're sacrificing one of two people just for one to get all the chakra and the other one just to die. So I don't know if they make royals and sacrifices, or they just pick when the moment arrives. Either way, the scientist that's with them continue saying, the chakra food is so desirable that one would be able to sacrifice one's life in order to attain it. Amado says, yes, it does seem rather aberrant. However, don't forget, they have the karma all of a sudden, Kawaki says. Anyway, Amna says precisely right. The sacrificial Sasuke uses karma to prepare a vessel ahead of time for resurrecting later. This makes so much sense. I'm like, Otsutsuki are extremely powerful, extremely smart. Would they sacrifice themselves just for the other partner to gain so much chakra and you just die? So they plant people with the karma, so when they do have to sacrifice themselves, they'll just pass on to a different body and they will be formed into like a new body or a new world. Either way, Amuro continues, or Shikadai says, I see. Pretty convenient. Samir, who is still with them at the moment, didn't Isshiki come to this planet with Kaguya long ago? So they were planning to grow a divine tree using this method. Amino says, I'm pretty sure that was the plan, at least on Ishiki's part. Kaguya being lower ranked would have been the sacrifice. That was how it was supposed to go. Now we know what happened with Kaguya and Isshiki. Isshiki was supposed to sacrifice Kaguya. She didn't care about the Otsutsuki clan rules. She said, I'm not dying for nothing. I'm not dying for nobody. And she just jumped him before he could kill her. Amno says, but just as I told you, Kaguya turned traitor and the plan stalled. Isshiki was forced to live as a parasite inside of Jigen's body and go on with the plan without Kaguya. Shikamaru says, by that you mean Isshiki would have to feed himself to the Ten Tails to make the divine tree grow? Exactly, because there were no other Otsutsuki, so Isshiki was going to sacrifice himself initially. Anyway, Samir says, oh, what is that? Shikamaru says, what is it, Samir? Tell us. Samir says, other Otsutsuki? You can't mean Isshiki plans to use Boruto instead of himself as a sacrifice for the Ten Tails. Shikamaru says, what? Kawaki's shocked. Amado says, excellent deductive skills. Kakei, Samira. As we flash forward back to the fight where Boruto still holding himself at knife point at the neck and Isshiki staring at him. Excuse me, is that supposed to be a death or something? And Boruto says, think I won't go through with it? You're wrong. I'm prepared to die. I have been the moment I entered this battle. Isshiki, staring at this, stays in one place. All of a sudden, he's gone. Boruto saying, what? Bastard, I told you not to move. But Boruto's kunai he was holding in his hand all of a sudden shrinks. Run, Boruto, Sasuke says. Threats don't work against him. You can't risk getting caught. But Boruto says, what? But? And then Sasuke says, we can't win against him. I don't know how much lifespan he has left, but our only hope is to try and buy enough time that it runs out. But out of nowhere, Isshiki teleports in front of Boruto and Sasuke and slams Sasuke's face with his 2 feet and kicks his face deep into the ground. Boruto is frozen, paralyzed in fear as Isshiki jumps as Sasuke falls off this cliff. Boruto screams Sasuke, but using his special dojutsu technique, the black boxes he was manipulating earlier, he uses it to crush Sasuke. So as of now, we don't know the status of Sasuke. Sasuke got kicked into the face, he got launched into the ground, fell off a cliff, and got slammed with black boxes. I'm assuming, and I'm predicting it right now, maybe he teleported out the way, but Boruto's not caring about that. Boruto turns around and hits him with a Rasengan, but Isshiki catches it and shrinks it and says, I do not plan to kill you, and that you are correct, Uzumaki Boruto. However, as he then cracks Boruto's hands, as Boruto screams, I have no qualms about hurting you. And out of nowhere, Ishiki's knee slams into Boruto's stomach as Boruto is struggling to get up. I apologize for any misunderstanding and steps on Boruto. I didn't say that you were prepared to die. That makes this. Oh, didn't you say you were prepared to die? That makes you easy. I let you lay down the plan. You're going to get eaten by the Ten Tails. And Boruto hears his. Boruto now knows what Ishiki's plan to do with him. Shikamaru says, Boruto is going to be Ten Tails flashing back to this. Okay, so it's going like back and forth, I see. Anyway, he says he's going to be Tenta's food. Samir said, you said that if Karma's extraction continues, Boruto would eventually come completely Otsutsuki. Amado says that's right, and from the looks of it, a fairly powerful one, since Momoshiki is sort of like Otsutsuki royalty or something. Anyway, Kawaki thinks on this. Apparently, there are variations to chakra fruits, just as it applies with apples and oranges, where a healthy tree will bear plump fruit, and so it is that a vigorous divine tree shall beget a good chakra fruit. Kara originally planned to have Jigen be the sacrifice since there was no other prior choice, but Boruto's appearance led to a change in plans. A young, healthy Suzuki would make a better substance or sustenance than a decrepit one whose death is approaching. Obviously, oh no, the scientist says, young master. Now I see why he didn't want to kill Boruto, Shikamaru says. But that fact doesn't provide any way of defeating this guy, so what is Boruto planning on doing? Amano says, who knows? Either way, it'll go the way it does. Samira says, Boruto. Kawaki still thinking on this. Amano in the last chapter just said Boruto is the key to defeating Isshiki. Now all of a sudden, well, I don't know. Boruto is spontaneous. He'll figure a way out of it. Just to leave it alone. Kawaki says, hey, Amado. Always with that chill expression. Because everything Amado says is nonchalantly. He's like, it is what it is. Tell me, how much of this is going just as you had plotted? If Lord Seven and the others are done and you're toast too, you know. So why are you able to stay so calm? Amado is still calm and doesn't say anything. Kawaki says, say something, you bastard, as he grabs Amado's shirt. Hey, Kawaki, little brat, why are you so irritable? And then Shikamaru says, I don't know what's up with you, but cool it. It's no use taking your anger out of him. Amado's just a freak. He's so sus. He's just so weird. Kawaki says, is this really our best plan? Was there really no other way? I simply make what appears to be the best choice available to me at the time, just like everyone else. What's critical is that you are always prepared to accept whatever result that choice yields to, no matter what it is. The karma you loaded so much is gone, which also makes it possible to defeat Isshiki. So sure, the Hokage and company's chances are slim. It doesn't change the fact that this was our only and one and only prospect, meaning that even if Isshiki has Boruto, he still needs Kawaki, and they are defending Kawaki. Kawaki is the priority, not Boruto at the moment. The scientist says, I agree. I get your frustration at not being able to do anything, but perhaps it is best for you to just stay here quietly and wait Kawaki. Kawaki sits down and tightens his fist. Amino says, is it powerlessness that's irritating you, or grief over losing your karma? Kawaki says, what? Amino says, never mind, forget it. And Kawaki ponders on this now. Did he just say Kawaki misses his karma? I would love to explore this aspect of Kawaki a little bit more in the next chapter, but we're about to get into what everybody's been waiting for, Naruto's new form. As Naruto, and we left off with Naruto, he got slammed into one of the walls, or one into the cliff is, or the ground, whatever, but he's heading back to the area Boruto and Sasuke is. What's going on? He says, I can't sense any chakras. I can't sense chakra, and not just Isshiki's. I can't tell Sasuke or Boruto's positions either. And we hear a voice inside his head, which is Kurama's voice. I think it's these cubes' influence. They seem to block sensory ability. Kurama, Naruto says, that bastard, he's taking a divide and conquer approach. What's your plan, Naruto, against this otherworldly power? I'm out of ideas, to be honest. However, Naruto says, I am the Hokage. Protecting the village and everyone is more important than my lives. So even if he slaughters me up and I end up at a corpse, I'll probably keep clinging to him and never let go. Not until that blaster's life is run out. Kurama says. So he says, you're spontaneous too. You're gonna go with whatever happens. No plan two. Kurama says, Naruto, you're really prepared to die? Naruto says, sorry, Kurama. I don't see any choice this time. Kurama closes his eyes and says, there might be a way. For real? It's a do or die. Last stand. It's a last stand. Ace up your sleeve thing. Only worth trying since you're expected to get killed anyway. Hey, what? If you had such a thing, why didn't you say so sooner? Because you'll die and do this and it's over. But since you'll be killed either way, well, it's not a choice to make lightly, so you decide. Flash forward to Isshiki stepping on Boruto. You'll be devoured by the 10 tails and die. in order to cultivate the divine tree. But don't despair. The divine tree shall consume all life on this planet anyway, so it's just a matter of when you die. Out of nowhere, Naruto appears and kicks Isshiki in the face, and we see some kicking action. You guys remember Isshiki was kicking on him in the last 2 chapters like crazy. He was just teleporting and kick and kick and kick, but Naruto is getting payback as Isshiki manages to hold his ground and looks. Naruto screams as he holds on to Boruto. Boruto, you okay? Hang in there. Dad, Boruto says, you gotta get away. He'll be killed. Come on, I'm the Hokage. Don't you worry about me. Isshiki says, you should listen to your son. If you reveal Kawaki's location, I'd be willing to let you all go for now. Naruto lets Boruto down on the ground, and Boruto screams, Dad. Naruto says, Kurama, I'm ready. You sure? Yeah, I've been prepared for a long time, from the day I became Hokage. No, actually, ever since I decided I wanted to be Hokage, Naruto was willing to die. And out of nowhere, Kurama activates something, and smoke just comes out of nowhere, similar to what would happen with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Isshiki stares, Boruto stares, Sasuke, who is alive, stares. As we see Naruto using full power Kurama, and it isn't like any other transformation we've seen from him in a while. Now, if you can see in the panel, his like fingers have claws on it. Now, if you ask me, I just think that it's just the same 6-pass sage mode, but Kurama is adding a little bit more of his chakra and all of his wolf-like chakra as Naruto is powering up. Sasuke in the distance. That's Naruto. Isshiki says, what the? What's with his chakra? Boruto stares as the smoke clears, and we see Naruto in his wolf-like eyes, and he is about to go full power. Now, if you ask me, I really love this chapter. I like how the writers did it. I like the plot, the storyline. I like the fact that I didn't like the fact that Sasuke got beat up. I like the plan. I really like the plot and storyline. There's not much to say. Now, I'm not going to have like that long of a review because this was a kind of a long video. But so I would just say it was a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10 to be honest. We're going to see Naruto's new form. Next chapter will be a 20 out of 10, so I'm excited for that. But if you're a first time with this channel, if you love Boruto, anime, and manga related content like me, feel free to stick around and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on post notifications so you'll get notified every time I post, and tune in for more.